Hello everyone. Today I am going to give a small presentation on the topic of test measurement, evaluation and assessment. So these all the terms are very much important in school and in the colleges. These are very much important for the teachers, not only to the teachers, these are equally important in the other fields also, but in my presentation I will focus from the education point of view. So in this presentation these are my outlines. First I will discuss about test and then measurement, evaluation and assessment. We are very much familiar with the test because when we grow up in our school or in our colleges, we had faced so many exams, uh, large number of examinations, like first terminal exams, second terminal exams, different kinds of exam, sometime unit test, or so many different types of test are there in our school or in our college life. So actually what does the test mean? Test is basically the something, you know it generally consists some type of the questions or some exercises to measure the skill or to measure the knowledge or intelligence of the students, or the ability or aptitude of the students. But in our context we generally focus to check, to measure the knowledge level, or we can say the cognitive level of the students about the particular knowledge. Another thing is that we actually conduct the test to know what students know, and and what they don't know. In From that perspective also, tests are in progress. So testing measures the level of skills or knowledge. Yes, of course, by the test, we I will go to a measurement. There I will show you other dimension how to measure. This is the test is kind of the tool. We can say that this is the tool to check the students. So in school, tests are taken as means. Yes, of course, in school we basically measure the ability of the student from the by the test, by the various kinds of test. So test can be various, like academic, from job. There are different kind of the test. In academics, if we are in school or colleges, there is the academic test. In the for the particular job, there is another type of the test, that is also be the written test, or like some physical test, or some interview. They are also the form of the test. And there are some professional qualification. For example, like there are several license examination, medical license examination, teacher license examinations, and so many. Not only that, there are different type of standardized tests like GRE, TOEFL, IELTS. They are also the kind of the test which basically aims to measure the level of the student, to measure the knowledge level of the students. So here is the definition by NCME. Test is basically the consist of the set of the tasks or questions. It intends, it intends to elicit various type of the behaviors presented under standardized condition and yield a score. This also means that I already told before. So in general sense, a test, we can say a test means question, or the set of the questions which aims, which attempts to measure the level of knowledge level of the students. Test can be regarded as a tool or the technique. This can be a tool or technique to examine the student's performance, or this for particular type of the behavior, for checking or for measuring the various type of the behavior, particular attitudes, we can say. The tests are conducted, helps for evaluation processes. Of course, test the basically test are the tools. On the basis of the test, we know that if we have some rubrics, we have some grading criteria, in our school, in our school system, there's the grading system like A plus A, B plus B. So that is the kind of the rubrics. And after scoring, after conducting the test, if the marks fall on that, under that rubrics, the students are generally evaluated, or we can say they are measured. Okay, so simple sense, we all are familiar with the test generally the kind of the tool to evaluate the students. Now I move to another topic that's also very important. This is the measurement. Measurement is simply means that assigning measurements, assigning the numbers to the phenomena. Basically, if we in case of the pure science or in pure mathematics, there are generally, if we measure, like for example, if we measure the length, we will express that length in terms of the number. If we measure the temperature, we will represent that temperature in degree centigrade or Fahrenheit or Kelvin. So in generally in science or mathematics, the measurement means we measure some quantities, some physical quantities, and express that in the form of the numbers. But here the scenario is the different. Here we are measuring the cognitive level. We are measuring the knowledge level of the students. We are measuring the, their skills, their academic achievement, their interest, personality, and so many things. Basically, test is the tool. After the test, we try to, like we try to express, that outcomes in terms of the numbers. Okay, so that it will be easier for evaluation, by which, yes, I already give about this. In education sector, human abilities like attitudes, academic activities, interest, all are, measured. There is a kind of the rubrics, on the various type of the rubrics. And there is the grading criteria for measuring the aptitude, or for measuring the different dimensions. The instrument is very necessary in measuring anything. Yes, of course. For measurement, we for example, if we are measuring the, temperature, we need the thermometer. Thermometer is the tool. If we do not have the thermometer, we cannot measure the temperature. In the same way, for measurement, in academic sense, we should have to conduct the test. Only after the test we can measure anything. In school, we take test to measure the, yes, in case of the schools, or in colleges, we measure the students achievement by taking the test. On the basis of the correct and wrong responses, the students are evaluated. So measurement is more essential is a process of collecting information. Yes, of course, measurement means actually we just collect the information. We just how much marks student get. Okay, we for example, the test is conducted in the form of the written exam, and measure means the copy in which student write the answers. Teacher check that and give assign some number, but do not evaluate. The evaluation is different. The evaluation is the next step after the measurement. So measurement means just assigning. Just after the test, the outcome of the test are expressed in terms of the number. In educational setting, nowadays, not only not only written test, there are so many different types of tests. For example, the marks are generally given for the attendance, for punctuality, for presentation, for creativity, for collaboration. So as per the level of, what is the level of the presentation of something by the student, that is also given the some marks or some number. So in this way, in educational setting nowadays, every activities are generally given, are measured. Measurement means we assign the numbers. Evaluation means after measurement, we come to some numerical value of some of the test after the test. And now this is the time of judgment, or this is the time of the make the decision. So it is the process of making judgment on the based on the criteria. For example, if any student got 92 marks, and now we have to evaluate how much grade the student got. Student got A plus, and we can then say that the student is very bright. Okay, now we are evaluating the student. We can say that the student is bright, that's why the student able to get the A plus. For example, if any student got like E grade, for example, if student got the marks below 20 percentage, the student will be assigned, will be given E grade, and the teacher will judge student as a poor student or weak student. So this is the kind of the evaluation. After having measured performance of the student, the next step would be to make a decision. Okay, this is the step after the measurement. When we evaluate, we are saying that something is good or appropriate. I already told you before. So to make evaluation, we need information. Yes, after the measurement, we have to make decision. We have to like evaluate the students. Educator are constantly evaluating student. Yes, we are constantly evaluate our students. And evaluation is the comparison. Yes, it can be a comparison also. We have certain grades. On the basis of that, we are comparing the student. For example, we have A plus grade, A grade, or something like that. On the basis of that, we can say some student as a good student, bright student, ordinary student, extraordinary student, or poor student. Okay, so now this is the last step, last point of my presentation, and this is the assessment. This is some a little bit of heavy word than evaluation. It is related to the evaluation. In general sense, it is also be the process of evaluation of the student, but this is the broad term here. In case of the evaluation, in case of the assessment, we actually assess various perspective, various dimension of the students. Assessment is the process of documenting knowledge, skills, attitude, beliefs, usually in measurable terms. Actually, we measure the level of the knowledge level of the student and document it. Actually, we write in the terms of the number. There we measure their skills. But still, in our country, uh, in most of majorly we are still focusing on the knowledge dimension only. We are just accessing, we are just evaluating the knowledge level of the students, not other dimension like attitude or the belief system. The goal of the assessment is to make improvement. Yes, the assessment, actually evaluation is means the work of evaluation just stops, because in case of the evaluation we just judge the student, either student weak or poor or average or something like that. But the goal of the assessment is to make improvement. It in the assessment process, teacher look for the like how the students improvement can be possible. In an educational context, assessment is the process of describing, collecting, recording, scoring, and interpreting information about the learning. How much we actually we collect every kind of information related to the student for the evaluation purpose. Okay, for assessment we can say. Here's one definition: the process of gathering and discussing information from multiple and diverse sources. Actually in conventional technique, the students only constrained the students, or we can say the students are evaluated on the basis of the written exam only. But here there are multiple dimensions, there are multiple sources by which we can able to like evaluate our students. There can be we know the term The term is very popular in our countries also, continuous assessment. you know in continuous assessment, each and every activities of students are evaluated and they are recorded. What what is the creativity, what is his attitude, what is his behavior, what is the attendance, what is the punctuality, everything. So the recording, the information of everything represents the assessment. But in case of evaluation, we have the data from the measurement and just we are make the decision on that. But here it is the kind of the heavy process, long process, where all the information about students are collected, and on the basis of that the students are graded. Assessment in education, the process of gathering, yes, I already told you, interpreting, recording, and using information about the pupils response to an educational task. It is the process of gathering, you know yes, another point is the gathering quantitative and qualitative data of what student can do and how much student possess. This is we actually not only collect quantitative data. Data means what the scores student achieve in various tests. And in case of the qualitative, we are actually accessing the dimensions, like attitudes, beliefs, behaviors of the students as well. So generally there are two types of assessment. One is formative assessment and another is summative assessment. Actually formative assessment, it is throughout the teaching learning process. Each day there is the assessment. We are assessing the students, that is the formative. And summative is, this is the conventional approach where we teach our student every day, and we are judging our student at the end of some academic year. Or we can say, in the after the first terminal exam, second terminal, through the exam. Or we can say in general sense, we are judging our student at the end of the teaching learning process. We teach everything and finally we take a test, and on the basis of that we judge our student. That is the kind of summative assessment. So in case of formative assessment, there are various tools like paper pencil test, like observation. There can be quizzes, exercises, practicals, creativity, communication, collaboration. So many activities of the students can be accessed. But in case of summative assessment, the major focus is given to the paper pencil test and the oral test. So in case of the formative assessment, we actually try to identify the gap and improve the learning. And in case of the summative assessment, we basically collect the evidence of the students knowledge. What is the level of the students, what is the knowledge level, or the what is the skills level or proficiency, to make the final decision. So actually assessment, formative assessment is considered as assessment as learning, because here, after the assessment, student also learns something. Assessment is also be the kind of learning. But here the summative assessment is the what we learn. It is the assessment of the thing what we learn, how much student know about something. The knowledge, the assessment of our knowledge is the assessment of learning. Okay. So there are some importance of the assessment. This is the modern perspective and this is the modern idea in the education. And in our educational setting also, we are now advised in each every school and colleges there is the provision of assessment to find out what the student know. Okay. What student know, what is the knowledge level of the student. We also try to find out what is the skill level. We also trying to find out what is the process, how student do their assigned tasks. The solving, doing the homework is not enough, but how the student able to do the tasks that they have assigned, that's also important. And how the student feel about their work, what is their motivation. That's also important. We also need to know the motivation level towards any subject of the students. That's also necessary. So assessment is the demand of the 21st century. So these are some references. So thank you very much.